Welcome to the Whiskey Vault. Oh wait, we're not in the vault. Son of a bitch.
Hey.
So still in the not in the vault.
Yeah, not in the vault.
I thought I passed the quest.
We're still banished. But you did.
I did nail that.
Hold the crap, son of a ball. Where are your antlers of power?
So I tried to pull this thing and it ripped it into 2 pieces, and then I tried to tap it back together and ripped it into another 3 pieces.
Bring the pieces.
No, they're in the trash in the other place.
Trial 1 failed.
No.
Failed. So I wonder how many trials you're allowed to fail before you just banned from everything for life.
I was just trying to adjust it, but the stag gave me such shitty antlers.
He gave you a talisman of great power.
Yeah, not great enough.
Not durability, of power.
It was fragile.
Nobody said anything about durability. All right, so today
today is Buchanan's 12, a classic blended 12-year-old Scotch.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing: I sort of wish we lived in an era where we could have hung out with James Buchanan. Because this guy was so our people. I'm going to tell you stories about James Buchanan.
It's a Scotchy.
You're going to fall in love with him more and more and more.
So James Buchanan was...
He was a dude.
Just, okay.
Now originally this was called James Buchanan's Black and White Whiskey. Now remember, he's a blender, so he didn't own a distillery. Mm-hmm. He was one of, like Johnny Walker, he's one of the original blenders.
Right.
So he's sourced whiskey from the very, very beginning.
Okay.
Now, he originally made the whiskey called the Black and White blend, James Buchanan's Black and White. And then when he ended up getting he ended up getting permission to give his whiskey to the House of Commons in England. Can you believe in England they have an official whiskey for the government House of Commons when they're holding their meetings?
That's what's wrong with American politics these days.
They don't have their own whiskey purveyor in the House or Congress.
Dump a bunch of whiskey in there, everybody will get along.
Anyway, so people started referring to it as the black, give me some of that black and white.
Yeah.
And so it eventually became the brand Black and White, which is now made and blended by Richard Patterson.
Why was it black and white? He just
named it was a black and white label, and it said Buchanan's, and said, give me some of that black and white Scotch.
Right.
So,
on the nose,
orange and vanilla cream.
I get musty.
Oh, it's musty too. There's a little smoky note in there.
Very musty.
But I get orange creamsicle.
Orange creamsicle.
Behind that must. Oh yeah, that's tasty. Yeah. It ends with ashy smoke, but the middle is vanilla and caramel. And there is a little zesty note to it.
You're getting more of the fruit and the zest. Mm-hmm. I'm getting like more of the
vanilla smoke.
The smoky, musty. There's not any single thing in here that's being overbearing.
If you like smoke and you like a budget Scotch blended, this is a good one.
This is a budget?
Yeah.
Holy balls.
That's 30-ish, $40.
Oh.
I've seen it go for as high as 50.
Buchanan's Deluxe Blended Scotch Whisky, aged 12 years.
Buchanan's 12.
It's 40%. You know what? It tastes much more.
It's currently at Total Wine for $45.
Okay. All right.
I got it at Specs for $38. Are you ready for the Buchanan story?
Go ahead.
He's born in Canada.
I'm still trying to figure this one out.
Yeah. He's born in Canada to Scottish parents who almost immediately moved back to the UK.
Okay.
So he grows up. He decides he wants to go into business. He starts working for a Scottish company, merchant, when he's still in high school, basically. It's not technically high school, but he's like 13, 14. He started working his ass off like a grown man for 3 years, but they won't pay him anymore. They're just working him like slave labor, right? And so he quits and joins his brother to work in a grain company. After that, he gets all of this expertise with selling. And so he's like, dude, I can sell anything. I'm a badass. So he goes back to Glasgow to J&J Ainslie.
Getting a savory note.
Or Ainsley.
Savory.
And he walks into a company.
Thread of brown sugar.
He walks into this whiskey company and he says, you're going to hire me. And not only are you going to hire me, you're going to make me a full partner. They'd never met him before.
Right.
Because I'm such a badass. They said no.
No, we're good.
And so...
We're good.
So he pissed off, he heads back to London and realizes there's market for a good blended Scotch. Now, he's in a market with the Walkers and several other blend companies. So there's competition.
Right.
Right. So he decides he needs to set himself apart. So he starts all these things. First thing he does is he gets him and a whole bunch of buddies to dress up in suits. And I've told this one before. This is Buchanan. They head into a fancy restaurant. And they said, "We'll take the Buchanans, please." And it's really expensive restaurant. "I'm sorry, sir, we don't have Buchanans." And they all go, "Huh! How dare you?" And they all leave in a huff. And so immediately this restaurant calls around to try to find where they can order Buchanans. And he's like, "Yes, Buchanans." And so he supplies them with these restaurants, Buchanans.
Yeah.
He needs an accountant. So he hires an accountant, an expensive accountant, an accountant who just happens to be a chairman on the board of directors for the United Music Halls Company, all of the music halls in London. He hires him as accountant and immediately becomes the official whiskey purveyor for all of the United Music Halls in London. Bam! Just filling that out, right? He then goes, "I like to get into hotels. Hotels is a good market." So he finds that there's this fancy restaurant owned by a hotel purveyor. And so he goes there and eats dinner there every night for 4 months. And he never mentions anything. Compliments the chef, compliments the owner, gets to meet the owner, becomes friends, they hang out, they're good old buddies. Finally, one day the owner goes, "I just found out yesterday that you are a whiskey purveyor. Why have you not hit me up for sales?" And he said, "Well, I wanted to get to know you better before I tried to get your business." And the guy was like, "Done!" And immediately he becomes the whiskey purveyor for all of the hotels that guy owns. Then he finds another guy who owns a whole bunch of merchant and retail shops, finds out that the guy's a widower with several daughters who are of the age to go about on the town, but, they don't know anybody.
Right.
Because they just came back from school. He voluntarily takes them to all the fancy dances and takes them out on the town and treats them. And the father is so grateful, he orders 5,000 cases of Buchanan's Black and White to sell in his stores and locations.
He is a salesman.
I'm telling you, this guy's the dude. We need this guy to be working for us, except he's been dead for 80 years. I don't know how. I don't remember when Buchanan died, but this was all in the late 1800s that he did this. He eventually becomes official purveyor of whiskey for the royal house, for the Queen, and for the House of Commons.
Right.
So people have been drinking this stuff for a long time.
Now, is it...
Because this guy's such a badass.
Is it basically the same process, formula, recipe?
They've used different distilleries, but they're going for the same flavor profile.
Okay.
They've tried to historically keep the same flavor profile. Obviously, it's probably changed at some level over 150 years.
If I saw this in the $30 range, I would absolutely pick it up.
All day long. But not for 40?
40, I have options. 30, it's
done deal.
Not a question.
Not even thinking about it.
Not a question. 40, I was like, yeah, what am I in the mood for? This is really nice. So in terms of sweet, fruity, light, effortless space side, this has more character than that. But it's not a harsh Isla. It's not taking you out behind the woodshed.
This is closer to Black Bottle in its smokiness, but Black Bottle's not as ashy.
Yeah.
Oh, one of our gift whiskeys coming up. Someone found one of the original Black Bottles back when it was actually smoky.
Oh.
And it's a gift for us, waiting for us. It's in the vault, though. I'm not sure how we're going to get it.
A little bit of ashiness in the smoke. It's not a really... if I let it sit, it can turn into a savory, meaty peat.
Your hair is nice.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I know. I'm aware. I'm looking at questions from the Whiskey Tribe. Eddie Barnes, randomly chosen. Could you do a craft whiskey review tournament?
Oh.
We all send our favorites, then you could pick the top 3 from each state, then judge them against each other to find the best craft whiskey in America. It would almost have to be a multi-episode event.
Yeah, no kidding.
Or would it?
There's like almost 2,000 craft distilleries in America right now, man. That's going to be tough.
Well, they used to talk about, they send their favorites.
Okay.
They send their favorites, and then we go through and we pick the top 3.
If we do that, I would allow samples.
Sure. Yeah, that could
Instead
be a fun
of full
thing.
bottles.
That could be a fun thing.
Yeah, so everybody's...
know.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
If you guys are
send in
interested in
6-ounce samples.
Sure.
6 ounces, that's only
If that sounds like a
fourth
fun
of a bottle.
thing, let us know in the comments and we'll look into it.
Yeah, that could be cool. We could have other judges, too.
How are my nipples? They're fine. Jordan. They're fine. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, wow. It's very intimate.
Can you blend Oban 14, Lefroy? No, we're not in the vault right now. We're banished. We can't blend anything right now. Gerard, Ryan, Bradley, if I wanted to send you guys a whiskey to review it in the vault, how would I do it?
So go on to austinwhiskeyvault.com, and there's buttons and links there to send us a whiskey. You're going to send it to the address of Wizard Academy, which is 16221 Crystal Hills Drive, Austin, Texas, 78737.
Yeah, and if people don't want to bother with actually shipping a physical bottle, then there is a PayPal thing.
There is a PayPal button. You can donate and then tell us what you want us to get. As long as you donate enough money to pull it off, we'll go get it.
Let's do one more here. Do a little bit of it.
And make sure if you're donating money, it's something you know we can get here, because that's a thing.
Congratulations. This is from Gary Crocherian. Congratulations on starting the new whiskey distillery. It seems to be coming along beautifully. Was it about your spirit that will make it stand out from the rest and special to you?
It's that you guys are the ones in charge of making it.
No, I'm very much looking forward to doing that with the community.
The Patreon crowd.
Step by step in the process.
Yep.
Here are the decision points. And basically it's starting with us saying, hey, let's make a really amazing rye or something really smoky and scotchy.
And then we're just counting on Deb to kick ass.
Deb's gonna kick some ass. We're getting sourcing options, finishing options.
Yep.
There's like that, like you said, there's thousands of distilleries that are making their own stuff, and there's gonna be the best whiskey that you could possibly do. It's like, that's fine, but it's like a master distiller and a couple of people.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that get to have that fun.
Right.
So we basically saw the distillery as a way to open up that entire process to people who may never have a distillery of their own, but they want to go behind the scenes and see exactly what happens, and then have a voice in the decision points along the way.
Rock and roll. All right.
Here's to fighting, stealing, and drinking.
If you fight, may you fight for a friend.
If you steal, may you steal a lover's heart.
And if you drink, may you drink with us.
Hey, thanks for hanging out with us in the Whiskey Vault. Don't forget to throw in a like, hit that subscribe button on the bottom right, and drop a question or comment down below.